So we are talking here at the InterCHARM in Kiev about some of the products of KLK Oleo. We're talking about diethanolamide for example, shampoos, and we're talking about the fatty alcohols for use in cosmetics and the fatty acids for use in cosmetics. Yes.
На выставке InterCHARM мы хотим представить наши продукты. Это диэтаноламид, кокосовый, также жирные кислоты, спирты, которые могут быть использованы при производстве шампуней, кремов и средств личной гигиены. И надеемся, что химики и технологии с удовольствием будут использовать эти продукты. Хочу представить вам нашего уважаемого партнера Фредерик То Лаер, компания KLK Emmerich.
Да, добрый день. Меня зовут Фредерик То Лаер, и я приехал в Голландию. Я работаю в компании KLK в Германии. И сегодня я хочу говорить с вами о продукте KLK. И Лена, моя переводчица.
Я постараюсь.
Okay, I will continue now in English. And I would like to welcome you with the presentation from KLK. KLK, I don't know if you know the company, but we are a plantation company.
Компания KLK является компанией-плантатором, то есть они сами выращивают пальмовые деревья.
Да. I will introduce a little bit about our company. I will talk a little bit about the production process of our base oleochemicals, and then I will talk a little bit about some of the products we have, and finally I will say a little bit about sustainability.
Мы немного поговорим о самой компании KLK, ее структуре, о продуктах, которые она производит, и о модном сейчас слове устойчивом развитии.
So on this page you can see actually a palm tree plantation. It's quite big, as you see, and this is this picture is made in Malaysia.
На данном слайде показаны плантации пальм. Как вы видите, они очень большие, и эти плантации находятся в Малайзии.
Then this picture is taken in Germany. My office is somewhere along those lines. This is our factory that is making the kisloti from the masla.
Данный слайд показывает уже, переносит нас в Германию. Это завод компании KLK, и офис где-то там.
And this is actually a quite historical spot, because this is the place where in 1911 Dr. Norman invented the hardening of fat. So actually this is the place where margarine is invented.
Это старинный завод, который раньше производил маргарин, и был основан в 1911 году.
And in the Second World War, this whole town was destroyed completely, except this factory.
Во время Второй мировой войны полностью был разрушен город, исключая завод. Завод остался.
But since then, we've built some new machines also.
Ну, естественно, мы оборудование новое поставили.
So here you can see the products that you come in contact with that our fatty acids are in. And as you can see, it's really in everything. Our products are literally in everything that's not maybe a vegetable or so, it's grown. You name it, it has some kind of a fatty acid or an ester in it.
На данном слайде представлены продукты, в которых могут быть использованы продукты олеохимии, начиная там от жирных кислот, эфиров и спиртов.
So we will of course talk more about the personal care and the dental and so on. Those kind of products is more interesting for you, because I think the plastics here is a whole other kind of exhibition.
Мы больше внимания уделим продуктам личной гигиены, чем пластикам, в которых используются продукты KLK, потому что они более интересны для вас.
So here you see a very young palm oil plant. As I said, we are a plantation company. We are one of the world's leading oleochemicals companies. I don't know how you measure this, but we are quite a large company, as you will see later on. We have a lot of different product groups. And you will see here from the fatty acids all the way to the tocotrienols, which are made by our sister company Davos Life Science in Singapore, which is a very special product for skincare. I won't talk about that now, but you know it's a very wide range of products that are being produced by the KLK Oleo Group.
Компания KLK является лидирующим производителем олеохимии в мире. Как мы уже повторялись, это компания-плантатор. И здесь представлен широкий очень спектр продуктов, начиная от жирных кислот, глицерина, жирных спиртов и заканчивая токотриенолами.
Да. As you can see, we have about 270,000 hectares of plantations, which is roughly 3 times the size of the country of Singapore. And we have a lot of oil crushing and kernel crushing mills. We also have some refineries, and we have some rubber factories, because when the company KLK was founded in 1906, it was actually a rubber company, not a palm oil company. And we transferred into palm oil. You can see also that by far the largest part of the plantations we have today is palm oil, because truthfully there is more market and money to be made in this kind of business.
Площади плантации компании KLK составляют 269 442 гектара. Компания KLK владеет маслоэкстракционными заводами, заводами по переработке пальмового масла и пальмоядрового, производство масла из ядра, а также заводами по переработке каучука. Но большую часть выращенных, так сказать, большую часть составляет в производстве пальмовое масло, так как это более экономически выгодный продукт.
This number changes from time to time also. It can be between 6 and about 10. It's quite low now. It depends. So anyway, there's 44,000 people working for a company, and the turnover is about 3.7 billion US dollar.
В компании работает 44 тысячи человек, и годовой оборот составляет 3 биллиона 71.
Now we come to a little bit more interesting part. Here you will see the factories that we have all over the world. You can see they're concentrated in Southeast Asia and in Europe. In Taiko Palm Oleo Zhangjiagang, we produce all kinds of fatty acids and esters as well. In Indonesia, we produce all the product groups, and in Europe, we produce the fatty acids in Emmerich in Düsseldorf. The funny thing about these 2 factories is that the Emmerich factory is an original Unilever factory, and the one in Düsseldorf is original Henkel factory. So the 2, let's say at the time when they were starting up, they were 2 big competitors, and now they're under one roof producing the same products. Am I talking too much now?
Компания KLK владеет заводами по всему миру. Основное производство сосредоточено в Малайзии. Там производится большое количество, весь спектр продуктов. В Китае есть завод, есть также завод в Германии KLK Emmerich, это бывший завод компании Unilever, а завод KLK Emmerich в Дюссельдорфе это бывший завод Henkel.
Да. We also have a sister company, Dr. Kolb and TensaChem. They make ethoxylation and sulfonation of all kinds of products that we also produce in the base oleo part.
Компания Dr. Kolb, которая находится в Голландии, и KLK TensaChem производят сульфоэтоксилаты и этоксилированные продукты. Это являются сестринские компании KLK.
Okay, so a palm tree, and I think many people have not seen a palm oil plantation or the way a palm tree grows up. So I wanted to show what it looks like, and also wanted to give you some comparison how effective it is compared to rapeseed oil, canola oil, or soybean oil.
Мало кто видел, как вживую растут пальмы, поэтому мы сейчас постараемся рассказать отличия между пальмовым маслом, также касторовое, рапсовое.
So they are nursed in a nursing hall. It's like when you make also small plants. It's the same kind of treatment, and it takes about 1 year before they are planted outside.
Приблизительно на данном слайде показан это.
Yeah, it's 1 year before it gets planted.
Да. Пальма представляет собой в данном случае возраст у нее 1 год, то есть маленькая такая пальмочка.
And then they grow up to trees that are about this high, and it takes many years. And a palm tree is also very effective, and you can harvest from it many years. Part of the reason why there are 44,000 people working for the company is that a lot of them are working in the plantations. In the oleochemical processing, it's only about 4,000 or 5,000. And if you see up here, this is where we call them fruit bunches. This is where the fruit is, where the oil comes from.
Пальмовые деревья, они очень высокоурожайные, и почему только 4000 человек в компании KLK работают на производстве? Потому что вручную необходимо собирать вот эти фруктовые гроздья, как мы их называем.
So after about 3 years, you can harvest from this tree. At that time, actually, the tree is quite low, so it is very easy to harvest. When it grows up, the tree comes higher and higher, and it becomes more and more difficult to harvest. I will show you in a second a picture of how it is harvested. But what is really interesting is, okay, the active period is between 7 and 18 years. After about 20 years, you see the effectivity going down, and I don't think there are many palm trees in a production that are much older than 25 or 30 years old.
Когда мы собираем урожай пальмы, когда деревья маленькие, это легко сделать, но когда они вырастают, то есть это все сложнее и сложнее, приходится собирать урожай. В основном наиболее производительный возраст для пальм это от 7 до 18 лет, и Фредерик не помнит такого, чтобы дереву было больше 25 лет.
What is really interesting is that you see the yield compared to rapeseed and soybean oil is really a lot higher. It's about 3.6 metric tons per hectare per year versus a soybean that's about 0.4. That's about a factor of 10.
Урожайность пальмы приблизительно 3,6 тонны на гектар в год, и в то время как соя дает урожайность всего 400 килограмм.
There's only a small problem, is that the palm tree grows only very close to the equator. So you cannot plant palm trees in Spain or in Germany. It can only grow very close to the equator. So the countries that have a lot of palm tree a lot of palm oil production are, for example, Malaysia and Indonesia, but also Nigeria. Actually, originally the plant came from Nigeria and was migrated to the Southeast Asia.
Большой трудностью является то, что пальмы произрастают только в районе экватора, поэтому основные страны, в которых сосредоточено производство пальмового масла, это Малайзия и Индонезия. Но исторически пальмы произрастали в Нигерии.
So we have actually recently purchased a plantation company in Liberia during the Ebola crisis. We started.
Компании KLK была плантация в Либерии до проблемы с Эболой.
So here you see a guy harvesting with his hat, his gloves, and this is 35 degrees and 99% humidity. This is a tough job. He's doing it per hand. You can see there is a sharp knife here with which he cut this fruit bunch. He cuts from the tree. They fall down, and you need to bring this fruit bunch very quickly to an oil processing plant within 24 hours. Otherwise, you are all chemists. You have a lot of unsaturated oils in there, and they start to oxidize and deteriorate. And your amount of free fatty acid in your oil is going up a lot.
Как мы видим на данном слайде, сбор урожая проходит вручную. Это тяжелая работа при высоких температурах, влажности. При этом, когда вручную собирается гроздь с пальмой, мы разрушаем дерево, и при этом очень быстро необходимо доставить до перерабатывающего завода данную пальмовую гроздь, да, чтобы не было прогоркания.
We harvest about 4 million metric tons of fruit bunches. And now you understand why we need very, very many people, because this is a hand process still.
KLK получает урожая вот этих вот пальмовых гроздей около 4 миллионов тонн, поэтому из этого вытекает, почему мы используем ручной очень тяжелый труд.
So here you see the fruit bunches are loaded into some kind of tractor, and they are brought to an oil processing plant where they take the oil from the mesocarp, and I will show you in a minute exactly the difference between these two, and the palm kernels. For now, it is important to understand there are two different types of oil that we take from the same fruit.
Гроздья разгружаются таким способом, и масло экстрагируется из мезокарпа и пальмового ядра.
So here you see one of the fruit bunches up close, and if you take the fruit bunch, there are palm fruits. They're about this big, the size of a date, and you can cut them open, and then you see actually that there are two types of contents in this palm fruit. One is the palm kernel, and one is the palm fruit itself.
Фруктовая гроздь, она состоит из таких небольших маленьких плодов, и в разрезе мы видим, что в середине находится ядро, а мезокарп или мякоть находится вот там вот.
Next one.
Yeah, that's good.
So for us, the mesocarp, the fruit flesh, and the palm kernel are two completely different products. You can do completely different things with it, and it mainly has something to do with the seed chain distribution of the oil that you get from there. Now I think it becomes very interesting for the technologists, the link between the raw material and your chemical.
Продукты, которые получаются из пальмового ядра и из мякоти, абсолютно разные. И вот действительно сейчас пойдет интересная информация для технологов, которая непосредственно от цепочку можно проследить от сырья до конечного продукта.
So you will see that on in the mesocarp there's a lot of the longer chains which you are talking about. Of course, if you're talking about long chains, the really long chains come from the high erucic rapeseed oil, the high erucic canola oil, where you have the C20, the arachidic acid, and the C22, the behinic and the erucic acids. Now, but still in palm oil language, the long chains are C16 and the C18. So you have your oleic acid, your stearic acid, your linoleic acid, and your palmitic acid. There's a very little bit of myristic acid in there, but we don't really make myristic acid from the palm oil.
Мезокарп в основном состоит из длинноцепочечных углеводородных цепочек, это С16, С18, и это там пальмитиновая в основном и стеариновая кислота, и немного миристиновая.
Now, in the palm kernel oil, you have a completely different type of seed chain distribution. What is very interesting, actually, is that you do have a quite high contents of oleic acid, but more importantly, you have the lauric acid. This is why palm kernel oil and also coconut oil are in the trade called laurics. They're called soft oil or lauric oils. If you talk to somebody who is working on the commodity exchange and who is dealing with these, he will tell you that these are laurics. Palm kernel and coconut have a very similar seed chain distribution. Therefore, palm kernel and coconut are in price very close together in your final product as well.
Пальмоядровое масло – это абсолютно другой продукт, который в основном состоит из лауриновой кислоты и олеиновой кислоты. Поэтому очень близкий состав с кокосовым маслом имеет, и цены на пальмоядровое и кокосовое масло тоже приблизительно одинаковые, что потом отражается на конечных продуктах.
So if any of you are wondering why MCT, for example, is a very expensive product, the answer lies very much in this graph here, because if you see the caprylic acids that are in the palm kernel oil, they are very low content, and the same is the case also for coconut oil. In the coconut oil, there's a percent more, but about 10% in total is C8 and C10. That means that for 100 ton of MCT, we need to process more than 1,000 tons of palm kernel fatty acid. So it is a product that in the volume is not coming into the market that easily.
Для нас будет интересно, почему каприлик триглицериды являются настолько дорогими, потому что содержание каприловой и каприновой кислоты очень низкое в пальмоядровом масле, и для того, чтобы получить, например, тонну каприловых кислот, необходимо переработать 100 тонн пальмоядрового масла.
So taking the jump from the oil to the final products, you will see that from the palmitic acid we will also make the isopropyl palmitate and the ethyl palmitate. From the oleic acid we make some kind of lubricant acids that are not very interesting for you, I assume, because TMPTO you don't really want to put into a cream. And from the stearic acid we make the ethyl stearate or the octyl stearate, how it is called also sometimes.
Из пальмового масла мы можем получать пальмитиновую кислоту, которая в дальнейшем используется для получения изопропилпальмитата и этилгексилпальмитата. Стеариновая кислота является производной для этилгексилстеарата.
And also you will see the alcohols, the cetyl alcohol, the cetyl and the stearyl alcohol. And this is a product for making plastic for your laptop, so this is not very interesting. Oh, sorry. Извините, пожалуйста.
Из пальмового масла также производится ацетилстеариловый спирт, цетиловый спирт и стеариловый спирт, а также этиленбистерамид, который используется при производстве пластиков.
So from the palm kernel oil, you see also a very, very long list. You have, of course, the fatty acid. You get here your MCT. This is what I was talking about with the price.
Из пальмоядрового масла мы можем производить каприк-каприлик кислоты, которые потом в дальнейшем используются для производства каприк-каприлик триглицеридов, которых мы упоминали.
We get a very famous IPM from the myristic acid.
Изопропилпальмитат также производится с миристиновой кислоты.
And we have also the mid-cut alcohols and the cetyl alcohol we can also make from this. And something, the lauramide, the cocodiethanol amide, and also the monoethanol amide are also deriving from the palm kernel oil.
Из пальмоядрового масла также производится цетиловый спирт, лаурилово-меристиновый спирт и гетаноламид или моноэтаноламид.
So, then we turn the oil into the fatty acid.
Теперь от масла мы переходим к жирным кислотам.
This is a very simplified production flow. I think my production manager in Emmerich will laugh when I put this on the screen, but I think for people who are working with the final product, this is the most important. These are the most important steps to see. I will come back to this in a minute.
Это была упрощенная схема по производству жирных кислот и глицерина. Потом мы вернемся к ним позже.
This is a picture of our factory. We build a lot of this new in 2010 to 2012. You will see here a splitting tower. I will come later to what this is. You will see that it's very high. This is a 52-meter high splitting tower. It's one of the highest in Europe. And the reason is that the higher the splitting tower, the better it is.
На данном фото показан завод в Эммерихе. Большое количество баков для хранения, для дистилляционной колонны, разделительные колонны.
Yeah, we have the distillation columns here for different kind of products. This is the glycerin distillation here. This is our new distillation for kisloti. We have some storage tanks, and we have our own power plant that makes power from natural gas.
Да, баки для хранения показаны, а также электростанции для энергетические разные.
Okay, so we split the fatty acids, the oil. We get fatty acids that are here in the triglyceride, and we get the glycerin. Now, of course, here you see a triglyceride with the same chain lengths. In nature, actually, this doesn't exist very much. In nature, you usually have chain lengths that are of different sizes. But it's important to see the glycerin here. When I was talking about our factory in the Second World War, they had actually a pipeline to the Rhine River, and they were dumping the glycerin in the river. It was a byproduct that nobody wanted. Today, it's actually a very, very high technological product, and in our factory, we make it for pharmaceutical quality, which means that you have very high control standards in this product. So you go from a waste product to a pharmaceutical raw material. It's quite a big change in the last years.
При разделении масла мы получаем жирные кислоты и глицерин. Ранее глицерин был побочным продуктом и сливался в Рейн, но позже было оборудование доработано, и поэтому компания KLK на данный момент может предложить высококачественный глицерин от фармацевтического до пищевого и...
Да?
Да.
Хорошо?
Грейда.
Okay. So the glycerin we distill to 99.5% purity. If somebody orders with us 86% purity, it means that we add water. So 99% is the cheaper version than the 86%.
Производится глицерин 99,5%. Если это меньше процент у глицерина, значит он разбавлен водой.
So the fatty acid we can either fractionate or distill. And as you are chemists and probably know this process very well, just to make a short link between the oils and the fatty acid, you can make a distillation and you will get an amount of C change inside the final product. So if you talk about palm kernel fatty acid, it would be a distilled product. It will have everything from capric to oleic acid in there, or if it is a topped version, it will have everything from lauric to oleic acid in there.
Так как вы химики, для вас будет понятны данное схематическое изображение. После дистилляции мы получаем из пальмоядрового масла чистые дистиллированные жирные кислоты от С8 до С18.
But the real magic actually happens in the fractionation. There we can really take apart the entire oil into its building blocks, and with that we can make really engineered products.
При фракционировании мы разделяем, получается, кислоты на отдельные цепочки от С8 до С18.
With this, it also means that we can build our own product. So it's a natural product, but we take it apart and we build together our own kind of C-chain distribution that doesn't exist in nature. To give an example, if you want to make soap, you would need to have lauric acid to create foam, but you also need to have oleic acid and stearic acid for the cleaning and the stability of the soap. I think Lena knows this subject very well.
В фракционировании мы как бы выстраиваем эти кислоты, потому что для различного применения нам необходимы чистые жирные кислоты. Например, лауриновая кислота при производстве твердого мыла. Нам необходимо ее добавлять.
So with this process, we can actually create a fatty acid that has both lauric acid, stearic acid, and oleic acid in there, which does not exist in any plant in the world. And this enables us to provide the customer with a product that he can use immediately, instead of buying a palm kernel and a coconut palm oil or palm fatty acid to produce themselves and mix this.
После фракционирования мы можем предложить нашим потребителям монокислоты, и потребителю нет необходимости самостоятельно выделять эти кислоты из, допустим, пальмоядрового масла.
So we can also do the hardening. You've seen that actually, if you talk about stearic acid, there's not a lot of stearic acid in the oils. There's much more oleic acid, and this is why we have to harden the fatty acids that are coming from the distillation or the fractionation. What we do is we use a catalyst to open the double bond and then add hydrogen into this to make a straight chain and a completely saturated fatty acid.
Следующая стадия – это отвердение. Мы рвем двойные связи и таким образом, добавляя водород, отвердеваем жирные кислоты.
So, then we come to the products that the product overview that we are making to give you an idea. We recently acquired the factory in Düsseldorf, so you will see two brand names, but they are the same product family. The Emmerich factory was making the Edenor products, and the KLK factories are making the Palmera products.
Переходя к продуктам КЛК, у нас есть два бренда Palmera и Edenor. По своей сути это одинаковые продукты, просто продукты компании. Продукты бренда Palmera производятся на заводе KLK, а Edenor на заводе Emmerich.
There is one thing that now is added to our portfolio that is only since we've acquired this factory in Düsseldorf, and that is also a tallow-based and animal-based fatty acids and glycerin that we can offer.
На заводе в Дюссельдорфе также производятся жирные кислоты из животных жиров, и мы можем предложить их.
So we have the C chains from the C8 till so there's the caprylic acids and until the erucic acid here that are coming from the rapeseed, but everything between C8 and C22.1 we are producing ourselves. Also the distilled products, the stearic oleic acid, and also in your tallow you have the distilled, the stearic, and the oleic acid.
Из растительного сырья мы можем предложить жирные кислоты цепочек от С8 до С22, дистиллированные жирные кислоты, стеариновую и алииновую кислоту. Из животных жиров также производится стеариновая, алииновая, дистиллированные жирные кислоты животного жира.
And then you have the glycerin, which basically in chemically is the same product, but it's the different types of certification and controls that we do that has the difference between a vegetable glycerin and a pharmaceutical glycerin. The pharmaceutical glycerin is really produced to very high standards to ensure the pharmaceutical companies that they're not getting any problems into their factory.
Глицерин, по сути, является одним и тем же продуктом, просто фармацевтический глицерин, к нему более высокие требования предъявляются, чем к растительному глицерину.
So we also have the amidation, the esterification, and the neutralization. We make our soap not through a saponification, but from a neutralization point of view. We then create 3 product families.
У нас также есть процессы нейтрализации, амидации и этерификации. 3 различных группы продуктов получается.
So we have the soap noodles that we can supply. We have the lauramide or the cocoa D-ethanol and cocoa monoethanolamide. Cocoa monoethanolamide, I think you are using here as well in Ukraine. It's a super amide. It's a solid one, but it has a higher viscosity enhancing effect. And you will have the ester range, which are actually quite common standard esters especially also in the cosmetics industry. And we have recently added some more specialist esters, which is coming from the isosteric acid. An isosteric acid is a branched fatty acid that is liquid at room temperature but fully saturated and therefore very, very stable.
После нейтрализации у нас получается мыльная стружка различных типов. Также после амидации это диэтаноламид и моноэтаноламид 80-90%. Так называемый суперамид, и жирные эфиры, такие как изопропилпальмитат, изопропилмеристат, этилгексилкакааты, стеараты, триацетин, изостериновые эфиры. И также недавно мы добавили в свое портфолио сорбитановые эфиры и полисорбаты.
And we have the fatty alcohols that are arranged between C12 and C18 fatty alcohols.
Это жирные спирты, начиная от C12, C14 и заканчивая C18.
So, this is actually a part that I think is also very important to discuss, because a lot of you are working for brands that have also an impact in the market, and you want to buy sustainable raw materials. There's been a lot of discussion about palm oil, and we would like to show here that KLK, as a member of the RSPO organization, we are focused to provide a sustainable raw material. As you've seen, that the palm oil is a very effective crop because you can have a very good yield from a hectare. So it's very efficient in land use, but we also must, of course, take care that we produce it in a sustainable manner.
Очень большое значение на данный момент является устойчивое развитие. Компания KLK является членом организации RCPO, это круглый стол по ответственному производству, так сказать, пальмового масла. Так как пальмовое масло очень урожайный продукт, сырье растительное, поэтому необходимо с осторожностью относиться к произрастанию, да, и увеличению, так сказать, пассивов вот этого пальма.
How am I on time? Is it okay? 5 minutes. Okay, I'll talk quicker. No. So, I'll do this quickly. RSPO is the Round Table for Sustainable Palm Oil, and it's actually an organization in which the non-profit organization, plantation companies, and also the people who are producing and processing these products are a member of.
Как я уже сказала, RCPO организация включает в себя компании, которые плантаторы, также производители пальмовых продуктов из пальмового масла и неправительственные организации.
It all starts actually that the RSPO has set up some rules and guidelines how to manage your plantation and how to manage your raw material supply. Now, this is the most important part. The plantation that is growing the palm oil trees and is taking the palm oil out of the field. Those are the companies that are really at the bottom of this, at the base of this sustainable product.
Основой продуктов, сертифицированных РСПО, является на каких плантациях произрастает данный продукт, потому что компания должна четко следить и управлять своими плантациями и площадями посевов.
But it's also not only the plantation itself, you must also get the raw material from Malaysia to Europe or United States or Australia, wherever it is used, in a way that you can ensure that what the customer is buying is actually a sustainable product. And this is where, of course, a lot of the difficult problems are arising.
Возможно, поставка продуктов не только из Малайзии, допустим, из США, но конечный потребитель должен быть уверен в том, что продукты действительно выращены на плантациях, на устойчивых вот этих плантациях.
Okay, I'll do these ones quick. You have basically three types of RSPO certification. You have the identity preserved, that's the Rolls-Royce of sustainability. You have your segregated, and you have your mass balance. And actually you have a fourth one which is not really much observed in the market from our side, which is a certificate trade, which does not really add a real, you don't really have to buy oil for that. So the three types of certification that are important for us as a producer are the identity preserved, the segregated, and the mass balance.
Существует три типа сертификации по RCPO. Это идентификация сохранности, масс-баланс и сегрегация.
So here you will see that from the plantation, you will see that exactly from this plantation or this mill, we take, for example, 100 tons. And we put that in a boat, and these 100 tons go to Europe. And in Europe, in the factory, we take 100 tons of RSPO identity preserved from this plantation. That means that in our tank, I can take a little bucket of oil, and I can know that this oil came exactly from that plantation in Malaysia or Indonesia.
Идентификация сохранности на примере, допустим, 100 тонн стеариновой кислоты, производства уже пальмовое масло выращено на сертификационной плантации. Эти 100 тонн пальмового масла транспортируются из Малайзии на завод в Европе, и мы можем быть 100% уверены, что данная стеариновая кислота, которая производится уже на заводе, будет произведена из этого сертифицированного пальмового масла.
And this is also where the problem arises actually in reality, because these boats, they don't take 100 tons, they take 10,000 tons. And you need to get 10,000 tons of identity preserved material in there, and that is quite difficult.
Сложность состоит в том, что данный танкер, который перевозит пальмовое масло, имеет объем не 100 тонн, а 10 тысяч тонн. И довольно сложно обеспечить 10 тысяч тонн вот этого сертификационного пальмового масла.
The segregated is another model which also ensures that what you get is sustainable palm oil. That means that you take from two certified plantations and you mix the plantations together, but you don't mix the certified oil with some kind of other oil. That means that the oil that arrives in Europe is 100% sustainable. The molecules themselves are really coming from a sustainably managed plantation. And it needs to be segregated from all kind of other types of oil. But since you can take many different types of plantations and mills that are segregated, that are certified, then you can transport it in a little bit better way, and we can also process it in a better way. If you process this type of... Well, I'll let Lena talk first.
Сегрегация – это еще один тип RCPO. У нас может быть две плантации сертифицированные, из каждой из которых мы берем по 50 тонн пальмового масла, при этом транспортируем, и мы должны быть уверены, что 100 тонн это произведенного продукта, это 100% пальмового масла из сертифицированных плантаций.
In our factory, we must also process this material completely separated from any other material. That means that we must stop all the machines. We must put this material in, start up the machines. It takes sometimes many hours till a day, and then start producing with this oil and then stop again. And you will understand that that is a very expensive affair. However, there are many companies who say, no, this is for us very important, and we're willing to pay for that as well.
На наших заводах для производства сертифицированных, допустим, стеариновой кислоты мы должны остановить полностью оборудование, и это может занять довольно большого количества времени, это затратно, но при этом некоторые компании хотят покупать только сегрегированные продукты сегрегированного пальмового масла.
Now, most of the industry that is talking about sustainable palm oil is doing this system. It's called the mass balance system, RSPO mass balance, which means that you take oil from a certified plantation and oil from a not certified plantation, you mix them in transport, and you also mix them in your production. I'm out of time. Okay. So in 2 words, or in 2 sentences, that means that you mix them. And because you can mix them, you can optimize your production, and you can optimize also the transport. That means that the cost of this one, this type of certification, is the lowest. Still, you know that when you buy your material, it will be 100% sustainable. You cannot, and that is the difference between this one and the segregated one, you cannot say that the exact molecule is coming from a segregated or from a certified plantation. And that's where the difference lies. So I'm out of time. This is actually also my last slide. So thank you very much.